Hello, and welcome to another anticipated interview by your favorite Friendship Network news reporter, Kristen Edwards. Today, I'm here with,
Demetrius Holt, also known as Hellspawn Cosplay.
okay, and today we're going to be discussing our topic for today, which is the Blerd Station. Now,
Okay.
now in my research, I see you discussed a lot about like the innovation and the effort that goes into such a project. But what I really want to know is, the basics. What made you decide to start working on Blerd Station?
Um, let's see. So the owner, Kevin Murphy, he
Mm-hmm.
reached out to me back in November of last year to say like this. I saw something on TikTok on a video that you were making or the interview that you had regarding my organization, Blerd and Powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and my organization focuses on the boosting of the notoriety of Black-owned comic book conventions as well as the morale for Black nerds.
Okay.
Um, And he said to me that I have TMI. And what is TMI? It's the ability to touch, move, and inspire, right? So you want to have the ability to say to folks that, yes, this is something that I believe in. This is a level of conviction that I have, and you have it, Demetrius. So he spoke to me for about 5 months.
Mm.
Okay. It took about 5 months for me to jump on board with Blerd Station because I have been burned before when it comes to working with entities that say that they can do one thing and then they end up being snake oil salesmen.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, the reason why I jumped in is because he gave me the opportunity to experience what give is.
Okay.
Give as opposed to give and take is when you offer something to somebody and then you continue to offer until they can't say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So me as a business owner for Blerd and Powerful, what was my give? He said to me, you will be able to create a show where you will be able to highlight a comic book creator's first book and allow for them to sell it at a Black owned comic book convention, which would then give that comic book convention more foot traffic and ticket sales so that it could possibly grow into something larger. And you would be giving a comic book creator their opportunity to publish their first book and also make money from the data from that in that entire experience. And then we would also be able to, build on our community with having more of the Black dollar funneled into Black entities. So I was like,
Okay.
oh wow, I want to build the community. I want to help as much as I possibly can. This was my give. All right, I'm in. What do you need me to do? You know?
Okay. I really like that how in depth you went into about how your past with certain companies and
Mhm.
committed to certain companies, how certain people could be like you said, snake oil salesman. That's very I'm glad that really stuck out to me because one thing I read up on about the Blerd Station and your company Blerd and Powerful, y'all really focus on giving the people what they're there for. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I really like how you're specifically focusing on Black nerds, which is Blerd, and it's really ironic that I say that too because I didn't know what Blerd meant before I got into this. I was thinking,
Really?
yeah, I didn't, and then it stuck with me. I was like, Black nerd, that's low key, that's low key, that's low key fire. I can't lie.
Well,
That's the only really
well,
one thing I can say about that.
well. Let me ask you, like, what kind of things are you into? Like, what are because we briefly spoke before we got online, and you were a fan of like Naruto, but what else are you into?
Mostly all science fiction. I'm into a lot of horror, and that's why low key I'm really invested in what you and Blerd, your company Blerd and Powerful has going on because it really highlights a lot of things that Black people don't really put eyes on. That's like the best
Mhm.
way I could put it. Like we don't really tend to recognize how much Black owned things there are, especially in when it comes to science fiction. There's a like,
Mhm.
have you seen one of the most recent movies that came out on Netflix? They Clone Tyrone. I feel
Yes,
like
I have.
I feel like that is a great example of what focusing on Black science fiction should be. And I really support what y'all got going on over there.
Well, why do you feel like it that supports Black science fiction? Like, what about that movie spoke to you?
It was the message, really, because it basically, Lord, I was prepared for questions like this.
Well,
but
that's you got to think on your feet because this is a
yeah,
conversation. when you're having interviews like this, we can just turn this into a very casual conversation, and you don't have to be nervous about it.
Yeah.
Because we're just talking.
Mm-hmm. Well, the message of it was basically it was shedding light on how like world powers and governments, they kind of tend to shed and close out on what Black people have going on, and it really showed that, like how in the physicalities of it, like in the movie, how it was how they were controlling the town and using the town for their own benefit. That really shows what we got going on in real life, because the government controls every part of our life. So if we get to focus on, the little things in life, then maybe that'll help shed light on some bigger problems that we can address in the future.
What grade are you in?
10th.
You're in the 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 15 with this mentality. My man. All right. Yeah, no, I'm not here to shape you. I'm here to just help. But
Yeah.
I think you're on the right path towards asking the right questions and thinking about things in a broader sense. So yeah, continue doing that. That's great. You're doing great on that.
And I'm glad we started tackling the science fiction topic, because that also leads up to my next question. What made you want to specifically focus on science fiction?
Well, we're focusing on speculative fiction. Speculative fiction is a very large umbrella that houses horror, fantasy, science fiction, horror fantasy, like anything that would be outside of the normal rigmarole of what life is falls under speculative fiction. Like, let's just say we have like a space opera involving Black people and very large robots, coming. You know what I mean? Like there's stuff like that we just don't see ourselves in. And then when we do, those images don't really speak to us, because those people who are writing those stories are trying to appeal to the entire world or the entire country. And the entire country does not look like us.
Yeah.
So if we're focusing on stories that speak to us, then it resonates, it hits harder. You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of got that hook where, yeah, speculative fiction, Black folks as Van Helsing or a Frankenstein type monster, or, you know what I mean, werewolves that are cool and not just the Mandingo threat. Yeah, I can get down. I can get behind that.
I'm very sorry I had to do this, but my mom is calling me. Can we just take a pause?
I can pause it really quick.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Zoom.
All right. You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm on you.
All right. Might as well just jump into my third question. I see you made a post on Instagram. It was regarding what was called an affinity membership. Can you go more into depth about that?
Okay. So we are using the word affinity in the sense of it's all coming together, right? It's all meaning something in this very first 100,000 subscribers.
Okay.
The first 100,000 subscribers that we have to Blerd Station, they are not only getting the content that they're getting early, because there's some people who are getting show Bibles and explanations of an entire property sent to their emails, but they're also getting stock and equity within the company after they pay $10.99 a month for 36 months, right? So when we're talking about rewarding our customers or people who are our subscribers or people who are supporting us in this very, infancy of our organization, of our business, we're trying to make sure that we actually provide generational wealth to the Black community. We're not just taking from you. You are investing in something that's not just your future, but something that's greater. Because just imagine if you were at the beginning stages of or being able to invest in the beginning stages of like Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah.
What kind of money would you have?
Definitely.
Because that's what we're doing. We're rivaling Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. That's our plan. That's our job. That's what we're doing. So if we're trying to give the first 100,000 subscribers a piece of this company so that they can have something to hold on to in the perpetuity or for their families concerned,
Yeah.
That's the affinity that we're talking about. And something else that that kind of came across my 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 table last on Friday was that Blerd Station is the first station, meaning that there are going to be other channels that will appeal to the Black demographic in different ways, the way that we are appealing to the Black nerd with Blerd Station.
Okay.
And for those people who are getting their stock options and their equity now, those first 100,000 subscribers, that stock and equity carries over to the rest of all the stations and all the other channels that we build beyond Blerd Station. So not only are you getting money from that, you're getting money from the growth of the rest of the company.
Wow.
You know, so we have a plan to make sure that these first 100,000 people are going to be okay in the coming generations, the way that non-melanated people can be okay with the investments that they made years ago.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I'm definitely about to be one of those 100,000 people. I definitely am. Good. All right, so this is more of a technical question, like on like a behind the scenes kind of thing. But like when it comes to all the technicalities of Blerd Station, is everything in place for its release set in January 2024?
Yes, we have the app already built. We have the distribution model to go to people's Xboxes, PlayStations, Wokus, Amazon Fire, their tablets, their phones. We have that already set up. You know, the only thing that we need is the people to distribute it to. You know, that funding thing is those people who are coming and paying that 10.99 a month, everything that they're paying goes directly to the properties that we say that we are building, the anime that we are creating, the TV shows, the reality TV shows, going into the comic book creators. Like we are actually really using the money that you all give us to go back into the community, and we're set up, we're ready. The plan is to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of October, go into pre-production of all the shows in November, start filming in December, and then we have stuff to drop day one come January.
Wow. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what y'all got dropping. That low key sounds very interesting. Oh, I guess we already tackled that. Guess I'll move on. Are there any like big mainstream Hollywood figures that we will be seeing, or are these like up and coming actors, producers, and
Across the spectrum, we do have Hollywood partners. They have not been able to speak on certain things because of the strike that is tentatively ending. You know, excuse me, but we do have plans of bringing the community into Blerd Station so that they can actually produce the content they want to see. There is a plan for a fan episode. A fan episode is when we will double the budget for this for one episode of a show, and actually bring in members of Blerd Station who want to be writers, directors, actors, you know, camera people, the entire spectrum of building a TV show. We want to build our or bring in our community so they can actually experience what it is to actually do that job. And then we're going to ask them to stream or record everything that they do and then post it online. Be completely transparent.
Yeah.
You know, because what we want to do is push for the following year for the next fan episode to be bigger than the first year. So we're not just taking money from you. We want to bring you all in so that you can be exactly what you've been seeing on television for all these years.
Wow. I'm just sitting here and I'm just absorbing all this information, because it's like if things go the way that y'all are planning for it to go, this can be big. Like
we're calling this the new Black Hollywood.
Like that's literally what it could be. Like this is gonna revolutionize all of TV, film, anime. It doesn't matter, because
it doesn't matter. No,
like you said, it's good. It's across all the spectrums.
So yep. Listen, we do have the Hollywood folks. We got the professionals, and then we got those who are professionals. They just don't get seen.
Yeah.
or they're just not known because they're black.
Yeah, because
Right.
they're black. And
Right.
that's all that it comes back down to at the end of the day. When it comes to the Hollywood, not even when it comes to like the film industry, the entertainment industry in general, the like everything that like economically and speaking in general, things have been against black people for a very long time, especially considering that America was built off of our backs, you know? So I feel like this is a step forward in trying to rectify that and actually getting the reparations that we've been begging for so long.
My man. I have nothing. I have no notes. Good job.
No notes.
Good job. No notes.
Good.
That's the kind of mentality that you need to have when you are considering your value, you know, on a bigger scale. Like when it comes to like big picture, what do you gain from minimizing yourself when they are afraid of what you're capable of?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your potential has always been diminished because they have always been afraid of what we can do. So when you have the mentality of knowing that, you know, oh, this is what it is because of this and not because of what they tried to sell us, that makes you a weapon. That makes you someone that is dangerous. And it's not dangerous on like on a physical level or threatening in a way that, you know, oh, my safety has been compromised or I fear for my life. No. You are dangerous because you upset the system. You know, and I'm not even a hotep. I'm not even someone who is out here that is saying, you know, all black, all is all right. I'm not. But what I am saying is, if you know your value, you can't be stopped.
Of course.
All right.
I'm 100% agree. I'm glad we're having this conversation because this is some stuff that, like, being in a school like this, you can't really talk to people about this kind of stuff often. So it's really good to kind of get these thoughts out because I've been thinking like this for a long time.
Well, see, that's the thing. When I was coming up, we would have these kinds of conversations amongst ourselves, but they were not as robust and full of information because we didn't have the internet the way that we do now. And then also we didn't have the teachers who would foster this type of conversation until we were a little bit older to see how things really were forming around us. And that typically happens when you go to college, you know, where they challenge your entire existence and ask you, is this truly what you think it is? You know, and if it's not, what do you think it is? And then continue to do research beyond that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why, and also like shout out to like HBCUs, because again, being challenged on that kind of mentality, you know, I'm not so sure you would be able to get that from a predominantly white institution.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even though I have some friends that go to a predominantly white institution, my cousin, who was actually one of the first in my family, he went to a HBCU. Now I can't exactly tell you what name because you know he's out of college, you know.
Right.
But the things he comes back and explains to me is worlds different from what I hear from predominantly white institutions. Like the level in difference when it comes to thinking, the level in difference is impeccable. Like black people are so intelligent and we use it for like trivial things. We don't really understand the level of mentality that we can reach, you know?
Well, I think that's twofold. You know, I know that we do use our intelligence in ways that could be better utilized.
Yeah.
But then yet, what opportunities were we afforded in order to use our intelligence on a broader spectrum? You know what I mean? Like you can only do so much with what you're given sometimes. You know, you can only pull yourself up, you know, by your bootstraps when someone is trying to choke you by those same bootstraps.
Yeah.
You know, so when I think about black folks and I think about what we are capable of and what we've already done, I try my best to not make any excuses, but then I understand the barriers that are put in place for us to not be able to succeed. And some folks just won't get there, you know, but then that's where those of us who are able to get there, it's our job to come back with a sledgehammer and break those barriers down and pull
Exactly.
our folks forward. So
You gotta break the
yeah,
generational curses.
exactly. Therapy is a godsend. I got to tell you that. But yeah, but yeah, there is there is a responsibility for all of us to not pull the ladder up behind us, but to come back for those who were not able to get the same opportunities that we were given. And that's why I'm here. You know, I am here because it just happens to be my place to be here. And if that's going to be the case, then I am going to go at it as full throttle as I possibly can, because what else is my purpose
Mhm.
other than doing this?
You gotta fulfill your purpose.
Yes, sir.
I completely agree. And I feel like that wraps the entire conversation back to the morals and the purpose of what Blerd Station and your company, Blerd and Powerful, is really about. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
We try our best to. There is always a level of morality that is challenged, because when we have to do things that, let's just say, heroes wouldn't do, you know, we have to look at the bigger picture and be an adult and realize that the world isn't as black and white as they say it is. There is a gray, there is a nuance. You
Mhm.
know, there are gray Jedi out there. You know what I mean? So if we have to ride that line to get the job done for the greater purpose, for the greater good,
Mhm.
then more than likely I'll be the agent to do that. You know, like, I'm not good all the time, I'm not bad all the time, but I'm the one that gets things done. So with that being said, I'm making sure that the folks that trust me to get something done have that trust moving forward and always. So I'm not saying I'm bad, but I am saying that I am relentless in my mission,
Yeah.
and everyone else has to be as well.
Very well spoken.
Thank you. I like to think I speak with a level of conviction that other people just don't, just can't find it within them to do that.
They can't recognize it. You know.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I see where your standpoint is coming from.
Thank you.
You got anything else to add? Anything else to say?
Oh, yeah, go to blurredstation.com and sign up for your membership. Be one of the first 100,000 subscribers so that you can get paid in dividends when this thing becomes $1 billion company.
Yeah.
Um, and as far as, like, if you want to know where Black owned conventions are held within the country, blerdandpowerful.com has a list of Black owned conventions, you know, listed by state. So I encourage everyone to research who your people are and what we're all doing, because we're in multiple facets throughout this entire apparatus.
Mhm.
And there's always somebody to be inspired by, you know, and if you don't find one, you will find another. So you will find it someplace else. So just keep looking and keep moving forward. There's nothing to stop you. Okay.
Very inspiring.
My man.
I definitely thank you for joining the Zoom and trying to come out. Well, you didn't really come out, but you know what I mean for this interview. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. This gave me like a opportunity that most people don't get. You know, just getting information, trying to understand other people's viewpoints of certain topics. I feel like this was really helpful, really very informational for me.
Well,
I,
I'm glad I could help, you know, because, you know, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really know exactly what you were going to ask me, so I just kind of came in here like, let's go. You know, it's a conversation, you know, so I can hold conversations with people. So I appreciate you actually asking me, because you didn't have
no
to.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this is a good interview. You know,
All right.
we can kind of wrap it up. I appreciate everybody that tunes in for tuning in. This is Christian Edwards, your favorite friendship news network reporter, signing out.
My man.